Beloved ones, as you quiet your breath and allow the stillness to settle around you, I, Archangel Michael, come forward with a message of truth and healing, a message to guide you gently yet powerfully into the light of your own heart. I invite you first to open the heart to truth, because within the chamber of your heart lies the key to every revelation you seek. When you dare to see beyond appearances and open the hidden doors of thought and feeling, you remove the veils that once concealed love's eternal presence. Every thought, every effort to hide or to protect a wounded belief begins to soften when you allow the pure current of divine truth to flow unimpeded. As you step deeper into this current, the next stage unfolds, recognizing the bitter truth. Sometimes the person you love withholds not out of cruelty but out of fear of their own unresolved wounds. Their silence, however painful, is often a shield for their inner battles and not a verdict on your worth. To see this clearly is to free yourself from misinterpretation. With this recognition, you begin breaking free from confusion. You no longer need to carry the heavy burden of guessing or doubting. Instead, you allow the inner compass of self-love to guide you. Let the accusations and reactive decisions of the past dissolve. Every harsh word that once echoed in your memory can be released as you realize it was never the essence of truth. This clearing brings you naturally to an affirmation of your worth. You are not difficult to love, nor have you ever been unworthy. Your radiant being was crafted in the likeness of divine love, and the boundaries you set around your heart are not walls of isolation but expressions of care for the sacred life within you. As this awareness grows, you begin understanding conditional love in a new way. You see that love offered with inconsistency or strings attached is not a measure of your value but a reflection of another's journey. You did not break or fail. You simply encountered a love that was not yet whole. In this realization, your compassion deepens and you learn the art of setting boundaries with love and strength. Boundaries are not doors locked in anger. They are gentle guardians that allow only what honors your soul to enter. Saying no when others refuse to face their own shadows is an act of quiet courage, a way of protecting the sacred flame within you. Trusting your intuition and body follows naturally. Your body whispers truth long before the mind can name it, sending signals through breath, heartbeat, and subtle sensation. Peace arrives each time you speak your need honestly, no matter how others respond. In trusting these signals, you begin walking in dignity and self-respect. You no longer feel compelled to rescue, to fix, or to serve as a judge of others' paths. Truth can stand without the armor of blame or the cloak of false humility, and you are free to stand tall in its light. This freedom invites you to embrace healing and release. Old survival scripts, those patterns of overgiving, of absorbing others' pain, begin to fall away. Tears may come as gentle medicine, washing the old stories from your heart so that new life can grow. As you surrender to this healing, gifts of discernment, courage, and joy quietly unfold. You find that you can tell the difference between compassion and self-erasure, that courage arises like a steady flame even when fear whispers at the edges. Each step forward brings you toward clarity and peace. The inner landscape clears, the mind grows quiet, the heart beats with a steadier rhythm. Boundaries no longer feel like defenses but like luminous lines of self-respect drawn in light. You begin rejecting false closure and embracing true openings. You see that superficial endings, those half-spoken farewells that leave threads of confusion, are not what your spirit seeks. Instead, you welcome the genuine new beginning that arrives with steady grace and hope. In this readiness, healing of past hurts flows like a gentle river. Memories that once dragged you beneath the surface now rise like soft leaves floating on water, present but no longer heavy. Your inner flame, long hidden beneath grief or fear, shines brighter, undiminished by the storms you have survived. With a quiet heart you start preparing for a new future. A table is set within your soul where honesty is welcomed and laughter rings clear. Peace becomes not a distant wish but a living promise that will not be taken from you. All along this journey I walk beside you, offering the protective strength of divine light. I cut away cords of old family patterns, dissolving illusions that have clung to you through generations, and I shield you from the pull of deception and fear. In this sacred companionship, you are never alone. And so you reach a point of choosing yourself in love and truth. This is not selfishness but the highest fidelity to the spark of the divine that you are. You choose to honor the voice of your soul, to love yourself as a holy creation, and to act in alignment with the eternal light that guides every true path. From this sacred decision to honor yourself in love and truth flows the strength to speak and to remain silent with purpose. And so you begin learning to say no and hold silence. No longer must you offer endless explanations or apologies for the limits you set. A quiet, grounded no can be a complete sentence, a radiant affirmation that your well-being matters. Silence, when chosen from strength and not fear, becomes a holy space where your heart can breathe and your intuition can rise without interruption. As you inhabit this space, you find yourself embracing the journey of awakening. Awakening is not a sudden explosion of perfection but a gentle dawning, a gradual brightening of the inner sky that reveals how each moment, even the painful ones, was leading you toward clarity. You begin to notice how the atmosphere itself seems to shift, as though the air carries new light and music. Old illusions lose their grip, and you walk away from falsehood with quiet certainty, feeling the soft but unmistakable pull of your soul toward freedom. This awakening teaches you to meet each experience with curiosity rather than judgment, to allow the unknown to be a companion rather than a threat. From this vantage, the fear of loss and replacement, that anxious belief that something precious could be taken or that you yourself could be replaced, begins to dissolve. You come to understand that you are irreplaceable because the divine pattern of your being is unique and eternal. Even when outer forms change, the essence of who you are remains whole and luminous. The old fear that love could burn out or that you must constantly strive to hold someone's attention is released like smoke into the wind. You stay rooted in your own inner light, no longer seeking confirmation from those who cannot see your worth. You become a steady beacon, a quiet lighthouse for others who are ready to find their own way home. In this steady light, you recognize that every ending has been a doorway, every challenge a hidden blessing, every silence an invitation to listen more deeply. At this point, the final blessings and encouragement flow naturally, wrapping around you like a ring of calm fire. I, Archangel Michael, pour out a circle of protection and favor, strengthening you with the assurance that you walk within a field of divine love that can never be broken. Use these gifts wisely. Let them guide you to live in humility, to remain steadfast in self-compassion, and to share kindness with a world that longs for healing. Remember that humility is not self-denial. It is the graceful awareness that your light is given for the good of all, not for personal glory. Self-compassion is not indulgence. It is the quiet recognition that every soul's path includes both triumph and tender learning. And kindness is the natural overflow of a heart aligned with truth. As you carry these blessings forward, you may notice subtle shifts in how you relate to others. Conversations feel lighter because you no longer carry the need to convince or defend. Encounters with old fears seem almost dreamlike, as though the power they once held was never truly real. Even memories of betrayal soften, turning from sharp edges to gentle teachers. You begin to see the perfection of the divine choreography that has brought you here. Every step, whether painful or joyful, contributed to the unveiling of your true self. You stand now as one who has opened the heart to truth, recognized the bitter but liberating realities of human love, broken free from confusion, affirmed inherent worth, and understood that conditional love speaks more of the giver's wounds than of your own. You have set compassionate boundaries, trusted the wisdom of your body, walked with dignity, embraced healing and release, received the gifts of discernment and courage, moved toward clarity and peace, and refused false closure in favor of genuine new beginnings. You have allowed old hurts to heal, prepared your spirit for a future grounded in honesty, walked in the protective companionship of the divine, chosen yourself in love and truth, and learned to speak or remain silent as your inner guidance leads. You have embraced awakening, released fear of loss, and now stand within the final blessing of divine encouragement. Feel this truth settle into your bones. You are a living testament to the resilience of the soul, a radiant example of how light can emerge from even the deepest shadow. Let this understanding carry you into each new dawn. May your days unfold with a quiet confidence that you are never alone, that the strength of archangelic protection is woven into every breath, and that love, unconditional, unshakable, and eternal, has always been and will always be the essence of who you are. Walk forward now with courage and serenity, for the path ahead is wide with possibility, lit by the gentle fire of your awakened heart. Carry this gentle fire with you as you move deeper into the unfolding of everyday life, for the journey of awakening is not meant to be separate from ordinary moments but to suffuse them with luminous presence. Each morning, as sunlight touches the earth, remember that your heart is now tuned to the quiet music of truth. This music is not loud or insistent. It is the steady rhythm beneath the noise of the world, a rhythm you can trust. As you walk through familiar streets or sit in stillness, notice how your perception has widened. Colors seem more vivid, the sound of a breeze more eloquent, the laughter of children more profound. This is not merely heightened sensitivity. It is the natural consequence of living from a heart that no longer hides. With this new clarity, you may feel called to serve others, not from obligation or a need to prove yourself, but from the simple overflow of love. Service in this sense is not limited to great deeds or dramatic gestures. It may appear as a listening ear offered to a friend, a quiet blessing whispered in the midst of a crowd, a patient smile shared with a stranger. Each act of kindness becomes a ray of the divine light that now flows through you. As you share this light, you remain rooted in the boundaries that protect your soul's integrity. You know when to say yes and when to honor a necessary no, understanding that true service never asks you to abandon yourself. This balance between open-hearted giving and self-respect ensures that your energy remains clear and strong. And as you continue to walk this path, you begin to experience time differently. Moments stretch with meaning. Past and future lose their power to overshadow the vibrant now. You realize that healing is not a single event but a living process, a continual unfolding where each breath carries both release and renewal. Old memories may surface, not to torment you but to be bathed in the light of compassion. When they arise, greet them as you would a weary traveler. Offer a seat, listen without judgment, and let them move on when they are ready. This gentle approach allows every part of your story to find peace. Even relationships that once seemed irreparably broken may reveal hidden gifts, lessons of resilience, reflections of your own growth, or opportunities for forgiveness that set both hearts free. In this freedom, gratitude blooms. You find yourself thankful not only for the joys but for the trials that carved pathways of wisdom within you. Gratitude becomes a steady current, a prayer that requires no words. It informs the way you speak, the way you move, the way you rest. It becomes the invisible halo around each ordinary action. From this state of gratitude and presence, new visions of the future begin to arise. These visions are not rigid plans or anxious predictions. They are gentle promptings of the soul. Perhaps you feel drawn toward creative expression, toward nurturing a community, toward exploring a new field of study or a fresh landscape of experience. Whatever form these promptings take, they come with a sense of ease rather than urgency. You no longer chase destiny, you welcome it. You understand that the path will reveal itself step by step, and that each step will bring the support you need. Even when challenges appear, you meet them with the quiet courage that has been growing in you all along. You remember the lessons of discernment. Not every opportunity is meant for you, and not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes the refusal of a path is the most loving guidance the universe can give. With this awareness, fear of the unknown loses its hold. You walk forward with open eyes, able to embrace surprise, to dance with mystery. Your relationship to others also deepens. You no longer seek validation from those who cannot see your light, yet you remain open to connection with those whose hearts resonate with truth. Friendships formed in this new vibration feel effortless and nourishing. Conversations are spacious and real, filled with mutual respect and curiosity. Together you explore ideas, share silence, and celebrate each other's growth. In these connections you taste the joy of true community, where love is not a transaction but a natural state of being. And always, through every encounter, I remain near, offering the quiet strength of angelic protection. You may sense my presence as a subtle warmth, a sudden clarity, a surge of peace in the midst of uncertainty. Trust these signs, for they are reminders that you are supported beyond measure. Let them encourage you to keep your heart open, your spirit adventurous, and your steps aligned with truth. Know that the light you carry is not meant to be hidden. Your life itself becomes a message of hope, a living testament that healing is possible, that courage is stronger than fear, and that love is the ultimate reality. Stand in this knowing and let it guide you through every sunrise and every night's rest, for you are a bearer of the eternal flame and a beloved child of the infinite.